ever borrowed something from somebody? Of course you have. You and I do that sort of thing from time to time, but why do you borrow it instead of buying it? Well, probably because you wouldn't be needing that thing for very long, right? I mean, you might use it for a day or two and then you'd be done with it, so it's better to borrow it if at all possible. Did you know that's why Jesus borrowed a tomb? We read in Matthew 27 that after Jesus died, a follower of his named Joseph of Arimathea was given Jesus' body for burial. Where did he bury Jesus? Well, Jesus didn't have a tomb purchased or prepared for himself, so Joseph took Jesus to his own tomb. In other words, Jesus was buried in Joseph's tomb. Now that would be problematic for Joseph because he'd have to find a new place to be buried later when he died. I mean, who wants to be buried with another person? But in actuality, it wasn't a problem at all. Whether Joseph knew it or not, Jesus was just borrowing Joseph's tomb. He'd only need it for about 3 days because on that third day, that first Easter, Jesus was resurrected, raised from the dead. He would walk out of that borrowed tomb and never return. Beloved, the resurrection of Jesus Christ is the most important fact in the history of the world. It changes everything. It proves that Jesus is the Savior of the world and all who turn from sin and trust in Him will be saved. Aren't you glad that Jesus just borrowed that tomb? Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry.